Hey, welcome back. Good morning, Joe. A shot to the White House. Let's bring in right now Republican representative from Indiana and chairman of the House Republican Conference, Congressman Mike Pence. Hey, Mike, good to see you. There's the GOP's going on a listening tour. Rush Limbaugh said yesterday that GOP shouldn't pander by going on a listening tour. They should go on a teaching tour. What say you, sir?
Well, I love Rush, and but I think the
be careful.
I think the objective here of the energy summit we're going to have today on Capitol Hill, featuring former Governor John Engler, now head of the National Association of Manufacturers, is going to be about leaders in Washington, D.C. listening and learning and helping to educate the American people about the real cost of the so-called cap and trade legislation. It's a national energy tax. I think the efforts that Leader Boehner and our Republican whip Eric Cantor have been fomenting since the beginning of the year are all about demonstrating that Republicans have the new ideas to lead this country, but we're going to take those ideas out across America. And I think that's a very welcome approach.
You're against an energy tax.
Yeah.
How do you help transform this economy to a green economy? Do you do it through higher CAFE standards? Do you do it through more investment in alternative fuel sources? What is the plan for the GOP to go green?
Well, that's a great question. The American Energy Working Group, which I've been asked to chair by John Boehner here on Capitol Hill, is going to have this first summit today. You can look in on it, Joe. First thing we want to do is do no harm. We think the last thing you want to do in a difficult economy is raise energy costs on every American household by more than $3,000
okay, so you're
per year.
But
step two is to move us in the direction of energy independence. And Republicans last year came up with an all-of-the-above energy strategy. We're going to add to that. We believe that by making a renewed commitment to nuclear energy, which is clean, remember, Joe, and by encouraging cleaner technologies, the implementation of cleaner technologies, and giving incentives to
Mike,
coal-burning
let me
power
cut you off here let me cut you off here. What about conservation? Because
sure.
Would you not say that there is something very radical, not conservative at all, about a country that has 4% of the world's population spending 25% of its energy, consuming 25% of its energy? Why don't we raise CAFE standards? Why don't we push conservation? Isn't that a good step until we come up with alternative fuel sources? Well,
Joe, you may not know, in the last Congress, I actually joined with John Dingell in that CAFE standard compromise. A real energy strategy in this country is going to include giving the American people more access to American oil, greater fuel efficiency in our vehicles, wind, solar, and nuclear, and new technologies for clean coal. But what we ought not to do in the name of combating global warming is pass a national energy tax that's going to increase energy costs for every American household. And as we'll see today in this summit today, it's going to particularly hit American manufacturing and American jobs. And last time I checked, the last thing we want to do in this economy is raise the burden on American employers.
All right, Congressman Mike Pence, it is the American Energy Solutions Group. It's an energy summit to talk about cap and trade and taxing. Thank you so much for being with us.